Welcome back to the season 2 finale of the House of Faith and Fashion. Yes, I changed. It's my show. It's the finale, so I have two different outfits. But I'm delighted that you're all here for this memorable visit. And right now, I'm being joined by the iconic Miss Universe costume designer. I mean, he is, and I just love him. He's a subject in my first book, in my second book, and he's such a great friend, aside from an amazingly talented human being. Welcome to the House of Faith and Fashion, Aviad. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Toby. I'm honored to be here.
Aviad, you and I go back to producing a show during New York Fashion Week where you were the finale dress that had drums, and it was a moment that it was so special, and we formed a great friendship from there. And you have been dressing Miss Universe and designers and entertainers for quite some time. Can you dive into your journey of the fashion industry? Like, how did you start, Aviad?
Wow. Well, first of all, that is indeed a beautiful memory. Our mutual effort at one of the opening events at New York Fashion Week.
It was great.
But my journey, I believe, goes way back, even to my my heritage. I grew up in a house where my grandmother, who was originally from Spain, was a professional seamstress and would sew at home dresses for her daughter, my mom. And so my mom grew up to be this mega multi-talent, crafting clothes, and both of them had a very high sense of style, very chic and elegant all the time. So that was my my surrounding, and basically I was looking up to the two of them. And from a very young age, started to express myself through, well, I wouldn't call it fashion drawings at the time. It was just my sketches or drawings, but I was really always intrigued by clothes. I grew up as a young child. I grew up in Cairo, Egypt for 3 years because of my parents' work. And I, for the first time, saw belly dancers. And I was mesmerized by the belly dancers, both for their performance, for their physicality, for their femininity and sensuality, as well as their fashion and their costumes, their elaborate, dazzling, colorful costumes. So as a very young individual, I was already very motivated and inspired to express that. I was also... for my second birthday, I received a Barbie doll as a gift living in Cairo. And I loved my Barbie. I loved to dress and undress my Barbie. And as I was blessed with amazing parents that provided me with Barbie dolls, I was able to collect Barbie dolls. And really, that was my natural self-expression. So all of that roots really led me through the years to develop myself, my designer identity. Throughout my teenage years, I used fashion drawings or sketching as my diary in a way. So ideas and memories and emotions that I wanted to document, instead of writing a diary, I would rather draw them. So that was my thing, that just kept, growing on me. Pardon, I couldn't hear you.
Is a big thing, what you're saying. And first of all, I loved what you said about Barbie dolls. There are many designers, very famous fashion designers, that started all the way back in their Barbie doll era. So you just never know how important that Barbie doll is to promote creativity. But how did you move from Barbie dolls, belly dancers, to Miss Universe? That's a big question.
Well, a lot of years had passed since the Barbie doll area and getting involved with Miss Universe. I have, for many years, I've lived in Europe as I actually fulfilled a professional dance and performing career. That opened up a lot of doors for me already to work as a costume designer. So living in Sweden, I I don't remember the year, but I participated at one of Sweden's annual competitions for promising designers. I didn't win the competition, but one of the things that happened following that was that the Miss Universe Sweden organization reached out and asked for the reigning queen to wear the piece that I introduced on stage there on the catwalk. So that sparked the whole Miss Universe journey for me. That was 14 years ago, and in fact, for the past 14 consecutive years, I've been affiliated with the Miss Universe competition, having designed evening gowns and national costumes for various contestants from multiple countries. I believe more than 13 countries by now. Some of them were even nominated top best at Miss Universe. So altogether, I'm very proud to have been doing that.
Well, I can attest for the beauty of your costumes because, again, we did another event called Hot and Holy in which you brought the Miss Morocco dress to be the finale of the show. Right. I guess I love you as my finales of my shows. What can I tell you? It makes sense that you would be on my season 2 finale as well. But your most controversial and probably interesting dress was the Jerusalem dress that you created for Miss Israel, but you first created it for one of the ministers to wear at the Cannes Film Festival. So can you tell our audience about that great dress?
Sure. So in 2017, I was commissioned by our former culture and sport minister to design a very unique dress. The year 2017 marked the 50th anniversary for the Six-Day War and the liberation and reunification of Jerusalem. So I was very, very honored to show up to the flag, if you may, and design a gown for the minister, who also intended to wear that dress at the opening event of the Cannes Film Festival. It was the 70th edition in Cannes. It's one of the world's most spectacular and important film events. And I had the great privilege also to be a part of her entourage. So to walk that red carpet, next to all those Hollywood stars was a very, very epic moment in my life, in my career. But as you mentioned, indeed, the dress sparked a huge controversy. And I am very, very humbled to be a living artist and a living designer that in my lifetime, one of my creations is referred to, at least here in my home country, Israel, as one of the most famous dresses in the history of Israeli fashion. Yeah, I was very proud of that accomplishment. I had, done my best for it, and it was never utilized by Miss Israel after. However, it was showcased at the Jewish Museum in Berlin.
Wow.
And yes. So yeah, I am very, very happy that I have that in my resume. It is one of my, accomplishments. Thankfully, I am a very diverse designer, and my line of work is indeed very diverse. I do all those exclusive custom-made gowns or national costumes at the Miss Universe competition. I also design a lot of stage costumes for dance, for theater, for musical theater. So altogether, it is very colorful and
diversified.
Diverse, yeah, exactly.
Yes, and I think that's what's remarkable about you. I mean, if you go to your Instagram page, you're always traveling to some other destination in the world, participating in either making a costume for their contestants for Miss Universe or being in the theater and doing some sort of great production. So I'm going to ask you, what are you working on now?
Great. So I actually just had a premiere a week ago at the National Theater of Israel, Habima, with a theater piece that I'm very, very fortunate to have had the chance to design. A theater piece named Mary Stuart. It's a classic in a modern interpretation with Queen Elizabeth I and Mary, Queen of Scots, and it was a really, really delightful experience. So I'm very, very excited to see how this all came together. And when you come to Israel, I would love to invite you to the theater and
I'm
your
there.
viewers.
I'm there.
And
But Aviad, let's get into a little bit into the psychological part of Miss Universe. I mean, how does
okay.
it feel to dress these women that are sort of so magnificent and so beautiful, competing against each other? Like, what do you insert of your own values into this kind of a contest? Because I know that you're so special like that.
In a way, I feel like I have developed this expertise specifically at the Miss Universe context, and specifically with the national costume one. I am also very grateful that with the years I have also built the name for myself and the reputation that really I get the trust of the contestants themselves, as well as their national directors, who basically would commission me and license me to conceptualize and design and bring to life the dress. But it is indeed a very, to me, it is an exciting challenge.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily approach it as a difficult thing. Of course, it is very exciting. I am very much aware that this is a very, very special moment and time in the girl's life. It's once in a lifetime thing, and of course, they all compete for the crown, but they also all compete for the attention. And I take on that mission with a great responsibility when I conceptualize a dress or a national costume for a contestant, thinking about what added value would it have, not for the dress not to only be beautiful or spectacular or elaborate in the physical or technical aspect of it, but really from a intellectual and psychological perspective. So to me, this is a very, very interesting process, or the portion
Yes.
that goes into that process,
Yeah.
to search and to research and learn about a country's history, a country's tradition, culture. Who are the people that are living, that are making a difference in that country? How, what would be most relevant to bring to the world stage at the times we live in? To me, this is what excites me the most.
Aviad, what was it like? I know that you were acknowledged by the Queen of Sweden, and you also had instructions from the King of Morocco. So what's it like actually working with royalty to help depict the culture of the nation properly through their costume? I mean, it's a tremendous responsibility.
So, just to be frank, I at least not had the chance to work directly with the royalties yet. When I lived in Sweden, I established an organization called the One Life Dreams, together with the Culture Festival in Gothenburg, and I created and curated community artistic projects, international ones, that the objective was to inspire and make a difference in the lives of people, and specifically with children. These projects were really, really effective and successful. So the blessing of Her Majesty, the Queen of Sweden, Sylvia, was a side effect, if you may. But I was very, very, very honored and very humbled to have it. Same goes for Morocco, when I had the great honor to be the first Israeli designer to design the evening gown for Miss Morocco. Soon after, Israel and Morocco signed the Abraham Accords and renewed their diplomatic relationships. So that really was a beautiful story. Israel and Morocco and the Jews of Morocco, it's a very profound and powerful history.
That's wonderful, Aviad. So tell me, if you could manifest the creation of a collaboration right now, what would that be?
Toby, I told you earlier that as a teenager, I would use my fashion drawings as a diary. At the time, I used to play a lot, both Whitney Houston and Celine Dion. I would close the door and sit alone in my room and listen to these two fabulous artists. So I somehow had this dream to one day have the chance to dress them.
Celine Dion, if you're listening, Aviad needs to dress you. We have to go, but I have one really important question. How a person should dress for a house of worship?
Fabulously.
I love that answer.
Just fabulously.
Because I know that the other answers, I know that your talent's God-given. I know that you need 100% faith to be in your business. And I'm so looking forward to seeing what you're doing next.
Okay.
But thank you again for visiting with me today for the season finale of the House of Faith and Fashion.